Hi, I'm Terry, and today we're here with Marc Tobias from South Dakota. He's come out to beautiful Vancouver, BC. We were playing with locks. You'll see more about that next year at DEF CON.
Yep.
We'll see what happens on that. We're still playing.
We're really not in Vancouver. We're in a suburb that you won't admit to.
Well, okay,
being,
let's admit
right?
where we are. Okay, we're in Surrey, British Columbia, and actually we're in Wally. Okay, so you know this is the ultimate place to be for crime. So this is now this building is actually famous because nobody has been murdered in this building. Every building around me, there has been murders, and one was a terrible one. There was like almost like 6 people killed. So that's why
unusual for Canada.
This is really unusual. But this building, nobody has been killed in this building. But it's still early.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
But he did have to pass the border, so I know you're not armed.
Yeah. So you're a third-generation locksmith.
Yeah, my grandfather, my father, my uncle, they were locksmiths and mostly safecrackers.
And now you're expanding into America.
Plan is the West Coast. I like the time zone. I like the weather. We're doing very well in British Columbia. We have the largest locksmith company here. And the goal is to expand all the way down to San Diego.
So you're a full-service lock shop.
Yes, automotive, high security locks, safes. So yeah, it's full service.
And you have quite a background.
Yeah, I was lucky. I grew up similar to your background. After talking with you, I was lucky because I had my parent, my father, my uncle, my grandfather. They taught me how to pick. Actually, my father did not want me to become a locksmith. He discouraged it, but I'm grabbing bobby pins and picking locks. We had locks in the garage, locks everywhere. It was just fun to pick locks. I loved it. When I was rekeying locks, master keying for him at like 10 years old, Dad gave me 50 cents a lock to master key Slade locks. And he gave me.
I think you were overpaid.
No. Minimum wage was still like $1 something, almost $2 an hour. I got 50, but actually I did very well because I was piecemeal. So it was like early child slave labor.
Well, I started at 15.
Yes.
And because as I was telling you the story, we had the old Schlage 922 wafer locks, which there were probably 50 million of them sold. They're still around 50, 60 years later.
We cut about 3 keys a year in our key store.
Yeah.
The
little punch tool.
Yeah, just love them.
Well, my mom at age 15 said, I think it's time for you to have a key to the house. So it's okay. So I went to the gas station, which is where keys were duplicated, and hardware stores, and they cut it, but it didn't work because their key machine was off. So I'm wandering around downtown on Saturday when my mother turned me loose for a couple hours every Saturday. And I ended up wandering into the largest lock shop in Denver, where I grew up. And I walked in, I said, say, I have this key, but it doesn't work. Do you have any idea? And he says, no problem, we'll just cut one by code. And being a techie kid, this was before computers, I said, what does that mean? Cut by code. He says, well, every key has a number. We don't need the key, we just need the number. And so, of course, he made one that worked perfectly. And so we had one book at the Denver Public Library on locks. And it was in the reference section. You couldn't check it out. You had to read it at the library. And we had no copiers then. Remember, this was the thermofax days.
Yes.
So I memorized the book, and then I went around the whole neighborhood with everybody's painted over garage door locks. And I says, okay, would you let me clean up your lock, make keys for you because I'm learning about locks? He says, yeah, of course. So I did that, and then I went back down to the lock shop a couple months later, and I says, I want to learn how to pick locks, because obviously that's where everybody goes. He says, well, we can't give you picks because you can't have them unless you're law enforcement or locksmith. So every week I'd go pester him. Finally, he says, okay, go get me some 1/4 inch by 32,000 steel stock. You know, we'll make you a pick, a tension wrench. So they ground on the grinder a curved pick and a tension wrench. I learned how to pick locks, everything.
Yeah, perfect.
And I went down about a month later, a very busy Saturday, this was a big lock shop. I said, Leonard, the owner, I said, I've learned how to pick locks now. I want you to give me the toughest lock you have in the store. He says, we're busy. You know, like shoe fly, go away. And I says, no. I says, really, humor me. We had in America, they were called Hurd locks. They were made by the Hurd Lock Company. That all the supermarkets use for everything. These massive padlocks. So he hands me one and he starts laughing with all the customers. He says, you know, like in 2 years when you figure out you can't open it, come back and we'll help you. So about 30 seconds later, I said, excuse me, Leonard, I asked you for a difficult lock to open. This one's open. And, you know, he looked at me and says, oh, we've created a monster now. And that's how it started. And so then I got through college, after high school, made a master key for my high school.
Yes.
Because I was the stage manager, and rather than rekeying the whole school, and I needed access to a lot of areas, so this is okay, we're going to trust you. This was an old Corbin split ring. I don't know if you guys had those up here. 2 shear lines.
Yes.
So there's no key interchange. It's, you know, the master key is the second shear line. Sort of like the control key.
Once you have an operating key, you can make them.
Yes, that's, yeah, sort
code
of.
it?
Not
quite.
Really, because it's 2 shear lines.
Yes.
There's no interchange between shear lines. So I learned how to pick it. And so we had access to the faculty lounge because I had a master key. And so, you know, there's a very special plate wafer lock on Pepsi machines and Coke machines that we have in America. It's a 13 wafer. It's a special wafer pack. And there's a very different way to pick them with a lot of tension and raking them. And it took me quite a while to figure that out. I was really frustrated. Finally, one Saturday night at a dance, God forbid we should take a girl to the dance, we did all the technical. So we're all up in the faculty lounge. I figured out how to open the Pepsi machine. So I ran our stage crew. It was George Washington High School in Denver, brand new high school. And I had a bunch of thug kids on my stage crew because they sent all the bad kids to our stage crew to manage. I had them go out and buy 4 6-packs of Coors beer. And we loaded the machine. We took the Pepsis out, put the Coors beer in the machine, closed up the machine. Yeah.
Yes.
Because we thought that was great. So about 3 weeks later, we're on stage for our class, and the substitute teacher is on stage, and she says, you know, it was the craziest thing. 3 weeks ago Monday, I was substitute teaching, and a teacher put a quarter in the Pepsi machine, and a beer came out. And of course, she didn't know anybody's involved. I said, really, what happened then? She says, well, they drank all the beer. They kept stuffing it full of quarters. So of course then, because I was already writing articles when I was a kid, I wrote an editorial to the Denver Post as a concerned high school student, wondering why our teachers were drinking on duty. And until the Wired magazine article came out about us in 2009, nobody knew the secret.
Yes.
But that's what those.
As we get older, we can start saying the things we did.
Well, the statute of limitations have long run.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. And so that, you know, that's how I grew up. My mania was locks, and then of course I wrote a lot of books and patents and whatever. And now we do a lot of teaching, and we consult with a lot of lock companies on engineering issues. The same kind of issues you find. You, in essence, are doing in Canada what we do on a global basis for your customers. So you test a lot of locks for a different reason. We test it because all security is about liability. And if you make a defective product, you can be sued if somebody gets hurt, robbed, killed, or if there's a loss. And it can be tracked back to opening a defective lock or a deficient design lock. You do it because you're in business, and your business is time and money. And your locksmiths, they just need to get in so that they can go on to the next job.
Well, I've always broken down the industry into basically 3 things. We have our hobbyists,
which are great,
which have a lot of fun. Europe is huge on that, and we're starting to see it.
Sports lockpicking is a big deal,
and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
And then there's professional locksmiths who are basically for profit.
Yeah, of course.
So we can't spend a lot of time opening.
No, it's not profitable.
No, and then we have government.
Yeah, that's right.
Which there's no budget.
Usually, that's correct.
So if they have to, like, if the hobbyists play with a door, they're playing with a lock to open it. The locksmiths have to get in. That's profitable. And government, whether it's covert, overt, they basically can spend an hour a week, a month, or years planning.
That's right.
You know,
well, sometimes it depends. We train some government agencies, and it depends on the situation. We think sports lockpicking groups are okay.
Yes, and you know, we're trying to get that accepted here in Canada, and I get a lot of resistance from law enforcement. They all want to come to the lock sport, the picking, playing there, but they don't want anybody else to come.
Yeah, frankly, lockpicking is better than chess.
Yes.
Because it's a mental skill, it's a mechanical skill, it's imagery, it's you know, I love going to these contests, watching these kids, especially we lecture at DEF CON every year in Las Vegas, and the lockpicking village is the most popular.
When we have a bunch of, when my dad, my uncles, and I would get together, we'd sit there at Christmas picking locks.
Yeah, of course.
And it was just, who sits around with, and you know, we'd spend hours on a Dudley padlock combination.
Yeah, that's right.
Who spends that kind of time
Dudley,
farting around with
now
that?
there's a name we haven't heard.
Yes, Dudley.
That's the triple bitted.
Yes.
Like they used on the.
Oh, we'd spend hours
yeah,
playing, and sometimes we'd get them, sometimes we wouldn't. But we would never do that on a job site. You know, but sitting around, we'd play.
When I was in high school, we had master lock, combination locks with the keyway through the center.
Oh, yes.
So the teachers. So of course, the first thing we did was make the keys.
Make the override keyway.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did a few things. My dad used to say, "Just because you can doesn't mean you do."
Yeah, that's right.
So, actually, I was pretty good. I had my fix because we'd get. We opened up a lot of stuff back then for sheriffs and different law enforcement.
That's right.
So as a kid, I got
It's an ego trip.
I got to do legal break-ins as a kid.
Yeah, that's right.
It'd never be allowed nowadays.
No.
You know, it was unheard of. But when you think about
Well,
the stuff
that you know, actually, I don't know. Maybe not in Canada, but everybody's come to recognize because 14-year-old hackers can be brighter than 50-year-old computer experts.
Yeah.
And so the age things now isn't so relevant, and what you look like in your green tennis shoes and you know your orange hair and whatever, it's what's in your head now.
Yes.
And so a lot of this has changed. I've met a lot of kids who are much more confident in picking locks than a lot of locksmiths I know.
Well,
Most locksmiths are not good at picking locks.
Yeah, and that's so true because they don't practice, and
No,
also
they don't.
the rotary pick is the backup.
Yeah.
They just, and you make more money.
That's right.
You know, you hate to say it, but you make more money drilling the lock than you do picking.
Of course.
To me, it's and we're lucky in our company. We have a sense of pride on picking, so we really love to pick locks, and we have confidence.
But it's not, unless you're really good, it's not cost effective.
No.
I mean, and I always carry, I mean, I don't do what you do. We do it for a living as far as a testing lab. But I have the best buzz picks from Europe because we're part of Lockmasters Europe. So we get all the latest toys. And I got to tell you, locks that I can't pick open, sometimes I can buzz them open. And it's cheating.
Yeah,
but
it's not cheating. If it opens, that's how it
takes talent.
But they're very expensive.
They're very sophisticated now.
Yes.
And now they have bumping picks.
Yes.
So that you can actually use the buzz pick, electric buzz pick, to bump open the locks.
You know, what's the price of the buzz picks?
Several $100s.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, it's not bad.
I was thinking of the German one that it reminds
Those are the ones
me.
we have.
Yeah, it reminds me of the ones when your dentist is cleaning your teeth.
That would be the question: is it safe?
Yes.
From the marathon.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
With Rod Steiger
terrible,
and Dustin
terrible.
Hoffman?
Yeah. That haunts me still to this day. But when I see that ultrasound or buzz pick,
right.
I love that.
Well,
but could I use it on the job site for a profit locksmith? I don't think so.
It depends. Because some of the cheapest locks that are, you know, I laugh. A $2 bike lock can be very difficult to pick.
Yeah.
Because it's just, they're garbage.
Yes.
But you can buzz them open.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, you know what? We're going to play with some buzz picks.
No, you should play with them because I've run into locks that I just can't pick. And I'm not as good now as I used to.
So it's under $1,000 now.
Oh, yeah. And they're very good. Very good. And you can adjust, you know, lots of parameters. And they work.
What's a good manufacturer?
Just get a hold of Wendt in Germany.
Okay, yes,
They're
of course.
best.
Yeah, I love their plug spinner.
Well, they have everything.
Yeah, everything.
And they're the ones that started Lockmasters Europe, which we're all a part of.
Okay.
And so it's not Lockmasters America; they're tied together. But
I tell you, I'm gonna get my hands on one of these pretty quick because if they're under $1,000,
yeah, they're under $1,000.
We'll have our guys using them.
No, they should be using them because there's a lot of locks like gummy locks and you know dirt, or the people put oil in them to make them work better, and then you know. So you can buzz open a lot of locks. It's a good idea.
I learned something new today.
So who watches you on the internet?
You know, it was a lot of fun on their YouTube. I used to get trolls, and they'd make some comment. You know, it hurts your feelings. It really does when you get some trolls.
Probably not as many as I do.
Yeah. So, but what's fun now is the community, your followers, your subscribers, attack the trolls now.
Yeah, of course.
And the trolls pull their comments off. So what I started to do is, when I get a troll now, I highlight his comments and I put that where something he can't eliminate it.
Right.
So I put his name, his comment, and then he just gets stomped on. So I really enjoy that. if you're not pissing somebody off, you're really not doing your
That's
job.
what Harry Truman said.
Oh, that's good.
Do you remember what Harry Truman said?
No. I'm a Canadian.
Yeah.
He was a president, right?
Harry Truman, that would be great. Very good. He says, I don't care whether they call me a son of a bitch, just so they keep calling.
Yes. Yeah, when you're ignored. Yeah, I used to say when you're right, if you don't write when you're angry and people don't get angry at you, you're not really writing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, it's been really fun coming up to Vancouver.
It's been great. It's good having you.
Great day.
Yes. And it's been sunny and beautiful.
Yeah, no, I like Vancouver.
Yeah.
I like Canada.
Yeah.
And you'll have to come down to America to reciprocate.
I love going down, and I hope to see you soon in South Dakota, but I will not be coming out in the winter.
No, you come to Miami. We have a lab in
Miami.
No, come to Miami.
I'll see you before Christmas.
And maybe I'm going to be in Norway in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Maybe I should send you some trolls.
Because
the trolls protect. They believe this.
They're good luck. They're good luck.
No,
yes.
they protect. I have Norwegian friends.
Yes.
They say you must have a troll because they protect us.
Yes.
And I was just in Iceland a few weeks ago, and it's the elves in Iceland, the hidden people.
Yes.
And they have statutes to protect.
Well, they have the roads will go curved around because that's where the elves live, right? So we have good trolls and bad trolls. Internet trolls are bad trolls.
Yeah, bad trolls.
Okay.
Terry,
Nice
this
talking
has
to you.
been great.
Have a good day.
This has been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot.